name's Claire, and before becoming a BCC Public Health graduate, I was a PhD student in International Public Health at the University of Birmingham. For the last 12 months as a graduate, I've worked across a range of different areas and projects. So I was placed within the COVID-19 communication cell. So I was working with the team that were helping to formulate digital communications around the latest COVID-19 guidance and disseminating that via various platforms, including social media and the website, and working with local communities to make those messages as accessible as possible and to get them as widely reached as possible. I've also done a couple of research-related and policy-related projects for the director, Justin, looking at developing a healthy food economy in the east part of Birmingham, and another looking at the disproportionate impact of COVID in highly densely populated and highly deprived areas across some of the UK's biggest cities. And I've also been assisting as part of the health protection response to COVID-19, so working in the test and trace team and the local contact tracing team too. I think, if I'm honest, 99% of what I've done as a public health graduate has been unexpected, purely because I accepted the role in last January, but couldn't actually start until March, and by that time we were in first national lockdown because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, the majority of what I've done since starting has gravitated around COVID-19 and the COVID-19 response within the city. But what I would say is that that's enabled me to work across a whole host of different areas of public health and working with multiple teams within the division, which perhaps I wouldn't have been able to do. The circumstances have been different. So obviously working in comms, working in community engagement, working in health protection, and also being able to do different research-related projects too. So it's been very varied and challenging, but really enjoyable too. And in terms of anything that was difficult to adapt to, I think for me it was just working from home, so starting a job completely remotely, having never been into the office, having never met any of your colleagues in person is a bit of a strange situation to be in, and kind of learning how to build relationships remotely, to learn how to communicate effectively, even just to learn how to use Teams and all of those kind of technological challenges. But what I would say is that everybody in the division has made that adaptation much easier than it could have been by just being incredibly supportive and making all of the graduates feeling very welcome. So it's been a positive experience. I think there's a couple of things that really stick out. The first is just the opportunity to work across a number of different teams and with so many people in the division, because I think that's really given me the opportunity to develop some really great skills as a public health practitioner, and also just learn so much from really fantastic individuals that work across the division. And the other thing really is just being able to look back and to know that I've contributed as part of a really wonderful team in a division during a really challenging time for public health. So yeah, that's definitely a highlight. I think taking on the graduate role has given me just such a fantastic real world insight into local authority public health, and I think coming from an academic background, I saw this graduate role as a potentially really good opportunity to get that real world experience and to see whether this was where I wanted to be and whether this was the type of role that if I wanted to kind of continue in this area of applied public health working, and that's definitely the case. And I think it's just the opportunities, as I've mentioned before, to work across so many different teams and in different kind of specialisms within public health. It's just been hugely beneficial, because I also came to the graduate role not really knowing what area of public health I wanted to be in and wanted to build a career in, and I think I've just been given that opportunity, like I say, to try my hand at a few different really varied things and get a feel for what I enjoy and where I feel that my skill set is most suited towards. And ultimately, at the end of it, I've come out with a substantive role in health protection and environmental health, which is an area of public health that I feel increasingly passionate about. So, ultimately, it's given me the necessary skills and experience to be able to put that on my CV and apply for substantive roles and gain them. So yeah, I couldn't have asked for much more really from the role. So my advice to anyone considering taking on a graduate role as a public health graduate here at BCC, and if you're passionate about public health and you think this is where you want to build a career, and you want to take on more of an applied role within public health, this is definitely the opportunity for you. I'd fully recommend it. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a more action-packed 12 months that gives you a real hands-on experience, and just an ability just to add a plethora of work and roles to your CV that you just wouldn't be able to without taking on something like this. I think what I've really enjoyed about the role is the fact that there's been, set tasks and core things that need to be done, but there's also a lot of freedom and flexibility to be able to take on projects and really shape them and lead them in the way that you want to. So you've got real ownership of that, and you can kind of complete a project and look back and be able to say, that's something that I successfully managed and did, and to be able to, complete work that becomes a really useful resource for the division that wouldn't have been done had you not have been there. So yeah, I just think it's a really wonderful opportunity. I think that passion and enthusiasm is a really key part of it, as it is in anything in public health. I think just because there's so much work to be done all of the time. But yeah, I think it's a really wonderful division as well in terms of the team spirit and the morale. It's been a pleasure to be a part of. So yeah, I think if that's the kind of opportunity you're looking for, you should absolutely go for it.